Hey guys, once again, thank you for coming and spending another night with us at the Zach and Max show. Tonight's guest is Todd Heightshoe. He is a gentleman, scholar, artiste, has hails from Ohio, has served in our armed forces, retired to the great state of Texas, and then decided, oh no, not enough for me. I'm going back into the workforce. So now is gallivanting around the United States for PepsiCo Frito-Lay. In his spare time, he loves to do fantastic pieces of art, and that is why we have him on our show tonight. Todd, how you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Thank you for having me.
Well, we appreciate you being on. So how's your night been? You doing okay today?
How's my night been? Well, a long week, long day, and actually all day today. I was thinking about, well, I got the interview tonight and something to look forward to.
Oh,
And actually, I'm sitting here doing our craft while I was waiting on you all, and now I'm sitting here looking at it and then looking at you all. So
Yeah, I couldn't get the mic to work. We were late.
sorry. That's 100% our fault. But Todd, so speaking of our craft, the things that you love, how did you yourself get into gaming?
oh boy. So I originally started like gaming when I was 13 years old. So I'm 48 now, so that tells you that, old dog, been doing this for a minute. In Ohio, in Newark, which is a suburb of Columbus, Ohio, there was not a lot of at that time geek outlet. My mother, she was a school teacher, and she was always fostering my imagination, my creativity. I was always doing stuff with my GI Joes and my Sergeant Rocks. Making cardboard buildings and fortresses, and using string to make zip lines down the stairs and different things along those lines. So when the guys opened up the comic book and game store, my buddy and I, Mark, we headed down there on our bicycles, rode down, walked in, introduced ourselves because we had never seen anything like it. But now there was this venue, almost exactly like yours, that was dedicated to geekdom. And so one-stop shop, buy our comic books, talk, and more importantly, talk about the comic books, talk about what was going on with the characters, talk about the morphology, talk about the message that the writers and the artists were trying to send and convey in the comic books. Because art duplicates life, and I'm actually a firm believer that life actually duplicates art in some instances. So, and it just went from there, and the community exploded with BattleTech, Warhammer. Of course, we played Dungeons and Dragons in the store, and we could be free. Because for me, gaming is just not, it's just not rolling dice. Like, whenever I run a role-playing game, one of my favorite systems was Rifts on the Palladium. It's the Palladium multiverse. And I always used to tell people, when you come to play, it is role playing, capital ROLE, not ROLL. And the dice are a mechanism in the game. It is not the game. So working on models, modeling, crafting, modifying, I never ever just pull out a model and pull it and make it stock. It's always got to be customized, because for me, for the craft, for the hobby, it is capturing a moment in the adventure and a moment in the model's action. But for me, the base represents where that model is in the adventure, whether it be desert, whether it be snow, whether it be craggy cropping, whether it be jungle, whatever the case may be. So all the bases are themed and everything looks uniform, because that is where the army, the miniature, the character, whatever is at in the setting at its time. And for me, it truly has been a journey from 13 years old, 35 years ago, and I think about it, and I'm like, good Lord, one day I'm going to lose my hair because of this hobby. Now, because of the changing times, cost, different things along those lines, and that I think of my 35-year journey and where I was to where I am now. And I am very blessed in the fact that my son who is going to be 30 this year. So again, that tells you where I was at my time and where my mind was back when I was a teenager. He has come along this journey with me, whether it be through either me taking him with me and exposing him to it, but we game together, we talk, we geek out, we share ideas.
Something that Todd brought up that I know is actually very personal to you is
he brought up
gaming and family.
He brought up the Star Wars thing right away, going to see it with his mom. My grandpa, he took me to all 3 of the prequels, and that's why I love those, even though everyone hates on them.
Well,
so I already got that now. What were you saying?
No, I'm just saying I know that that's a very big thing for you. It's gaming with family, because that is something that's very core to yourself. Do you guys have any kind of I guess this is kind of part of the interview. I'm interviewing you now. So I guess I don't come from a very large family. So with that aspect of gaming where you guys are gaming with your family members, in my experience with my limited amount of family, they are just the perfect people to push the right buttons to just throw me out the window and into oncoming traffic, because they just know the right way to do it. How do you guys navigate having a positive experience with gaming with your family?
I mean, for me, it's just being honest and just coming out for me, coming out the gate, I game with a group who consists of my sister, her husband, and a 7-year-old. Who the 7-year-old doesn't like to lose.
That is what it is. Those are the rules for the 7-year-old.
She makes the rules.
Yes.
It's okay. And it's just with that expectation, we're just there having fun. We're spending time together. The games aren't going to be super competitive, anything like that. We play anything from villainous, but also just go and, I don't want to say down because that's rude, but something simplistic like Uno. It's just, for me, it's just, you really got to know your crowd, because I also go to Amanda's family's place, and they play more games, social deduction games, and I'm terrible at it. They whoop up on me, and they're like, yep, you're bad. I'm like, you know what? The whole time it's about knowing the audience when to put the gas down for me, because I find that just in past experience with people, the biggest reason why someone won't have fun is if they don't feel either A, included, or B, like they knew what was going on. If you kind of feel I've had those situations where if I feel confused the whole time, even with family, it's kind of well, this kind of sucked. I want to do something else. If I didn't feel like something included me, even though I was at the table, that always kind of sucks.
And then with you, Todd, you said that you brought your son along, and when it wasn't just about hey, I got this really cool shiny box of new toys for you, and it's not just about playing the game and rolling the dice. What did you find was the most treasured moment that gaming has brought for you two together as a family?
I can honestly say that his growth, where he is right now, especially in the community, again in Central Texas, he has really become a mentor for new gamers. And since he is, 29, 30 years old, he can definitely connect with them, much better than what I can, because of course when I start talking to them, they're always calling me sir and different things. And I'm like, I'm not sir, I'm just Todd, I'm geek just like you. Let's just chill. But one of the things that I appreciate with where he and the journey that he has taken is that he has left his ego at the door. It is about socializing. And then with him, growing up in the game, he did grow competitive, and he does want to be a competitive gamer. But I always tell him, it's okay, just make sure that when you are playing with the person or whoever you're playing with, gauge your opponent, ask them, how long have they been playing, whether it's going to be a friendly game or a competitive game. What is their skill level? Yes, they've been playing for a short period of time, but have they dove headfirst into it and understand the rules and so forth? What is their learning curve? So
know when to push the gas, right? Yeah.
What's that?
Just like a phrase I use, know when to push the gas, know when to, go all
yes,
in.
Exactly. So therefore, because it's about the fun and it's about the camaraderie.
That is one of the things that I'm very proud of. Our shout out to our Rogue Trader uh, tournament group that plays here. They've been doing the Rogue Tournament Series here, Rogue Trader Tournament Series, through this store for the past
6 years.
6 years, 7
Well,
years, 6 years.
2020.
Yeah, but
I think it started in 2015. 6.
so about 6 years. But the key core tenet of that was the hobby.
Yeah.
Is more about crafting a beautiful army, crafting the story behind that army, socializing with other like-minded people.
Also,
that
crafting the story behind your list, not just
or
bringing
about your
power.
list. It wasn't always just gas in the list.
It was the first tournament I ever played, and it's probably the reason I continued playing, because
Oh, yeah.
I lost every game. Like, got hammered.
But you know what?
But I had
It
a
was
really good time. And I still talk.
And that was the
'Cause
thing that
the
the original guys that first put that together for us, they hammered through. They're like, look, you can go and just destroy people if you want to, and if that's the type of game you want to play, that's cool, that's fun to whoever thinks that is fun, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as both parties know that.
Yeah,
Mhm.
let your teammate know you're going. Let your opponent know you're going in with ITC list.
Yeah,
Like,
but if you want a longer lasting, enjoyable experience,
Mhm.
Where you can talk shop about painting, you can talk shop about modeling, you can talk shop about the lore. That's one of their favorite things to talk
Yes.
about. Lore.
Yes.
Those guys really embody that, and we were very lucky to have them with us for so long.
oh, they're still here.
No, they're definitely still here. Just
they're watching.
COVID, yeah.
They're watching on the giant screen in Brandon's
Man cave, yeah. But no, it was one of the greatest joys of the experience of the store, is to be able to have had those guys bring that mindset into the store, because it really did shape the way that our community has run for almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
Actually, and that was one of the things that I felt the first time I walked into your shop, was just the welcoming feeling and so forth, and just how open and communicative everybody was and so forth. And there wasn't this, hey, who's a stranger, who's this new guy, let's feel him out or whatever. It was just immediate, communication, talking about life. Zach, you were talking about your back, and I talked to you about my back.
You really
stretches
helped
and different things along those lines, because I mean, we all experience life separately. We all view life through our own lens. And where I am in my life, and I'm pretty sure where you are right now, Zach, where you are, we are mentors to the next generation of gamers, of hobbyists, of craftsmen. And if we do not remember that and take that time to invest in ourselves, which is in turn investing in our community and investing in growing that community, it's going to die on the vine. And that's that you and your community have absolutely, I'm absolutely in love with your store, in love with your community.
Speaking of mentoring, we would like to show off just a few of your models, which will be placed here, or possibly further that way. Please put them over there.
No, don't.
Anyway, so a couple of the models that I would like to speak about. The first one would be this particular Spider Gwen that you had for MCP. You have this beautiful webbing that you put around her, which is not typical of the original piece. Can you explain to our viewers a little bit about what you did there?
So one of the primary statements in the Marvel Crisis Protocol community, and I'm sure a lot of the individuals that are watching this can attest to it, is the ubiquitous stone or piece of debris or something that the guy's foot up on top of, is standing on top of, is jumping on top of, whatever. It's that very dynamic pose. Because one of the things that Atomic Mass Games does not use is a lot of acrylic flight stands. I'll hold this up for the Mandalorians I'm working on, and so forth. So for individuals who may be soaring through the air or jumping or leaping or whatever, they're always at either the beginning or the end of the leap. So originally, Ghost Spider Gwen Stacy, she's almost doing like a ballet pirouette type pose, and her ballet slipper, her toe is right on top of a stone. So what I did was I shaved it off, and I took bass wire on the guitar string. So I took it and I wrapped it around a dowel, because every single photo that I'd ever really seen of Spider-Gwen, other than her doing selfies or whatever the case may be, she's always airborne, kind of being surrounded by webbing. So I took it and I wound it, and I took thread and then I wound it around it to give it the Todd McFarlane gooey web.
Spider
Yeah.
line.
And then these are the droppers that I use, Hobby Lobby. Put the Bob Smith super and the way she's posed with her hands is that she's actually like on the webbing, so she's descending down through this coil of webbing, and the webbing is touching the ground, which I built up like a little pile of debris and garbage and so forth, because it's New York City. And then I also printed off a small newspaper and kind of wadded it up, about the the spider foes or whatever the case may be. I always try to theme my bases as, whether it J.J. Jameson is bad mouthing all this, the spiders and so forth. But so therefore, she's actually suspended in midair in the middle of this webbing, because the guitar string, the bass wire, is quite rigid, and it has a nice little spring to it and so forth. So
it's just gorgeous. It's a gorgeous piece.
I love those little stories that he's able to tell with his basing, and I think that is a part of modeling that you don't see a whole lot of, because people are so concentrated on, look at this amazing paint job that I did on the model itself, which, don't get me wrong, they're beautiful. Like some of those Golden Demons, amazing. But I think that
just remember, guys, some of the Golden Demons are amazing. Just some.
Yeah, just some. Just saying. But we want to say thank you so much for being a part of our community, because you are truly a part of our community, and we hope that when your time does end here, you won't be a stranger and you still come by and visit when you can.
Before we go, I need everyone to like, comment, and subscribe. Go for Games. I also need everyone, when we come back, tell Mac to wear a work shirt, please.
This is true. This is true. At least it wasn't.
Do your laundry. Do your laundry.
I know. It wasn't Baby Yoda this time. At least it's got that. We got that.
Guys, he changed his jacket. It's a miracle. Christmas miracle.
Todd, once again, thank you so much for being part of the show. We really appreciate it, man. And we will talk to you soon, bro.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you all.
All right, man. Take it easy.